Okay, fellow Vault Dwellers, it's time. It's the update date, and here are the official patch notes. Very long ones, so I will try to focus on important parts of the patch notes and add something from myself when I feel like it's needed, as I played a lot on the test server. So first, thump thump thump. Bigfoot is coming. I know it's supposed to be slower. Put on your power armor and grab your favorite weapon. We have a 4-star legendary creature to take down. So first time ever, 4-star legendaries available outside of the raid. The Backwoods update arrives today and it brings more rewards to all Vault Dwellers across the wasteland. Enjoy some great quality of life improvements to public events and activities formerly known as events. Your Pip-Boy and your armor. Read on below for the latest on today's changes. So update highlights: Bigfoot has arrived, the legendary Bigfoot has appeared and will be invading your public events. This 4-star legendary creature has a chance to drop a new exclusive 4-star mod, Thrill Seeker. Fortunately, mod is not amazing. It's reload speed and swing speed in case of melee weapons on a kill streak. That's the problem. You need to be on a kill streak. Uninvited guests. Bigfoot isn't alone with its desire to ruin your fun. Other special creatures, such as a more challenging Deathclaw Matriarch, Wendigo Colossus, and more, have the chance to show up and crush your party. Activities and public event balancing. Many activities, formal events, and public events have received updates to improve their rewards and event flow to keep you playing and not waiting around. Pip-Boy improvements. Your Pip-Boy is now faster, smoother, and has some new menus to help you get to what you are looking for faster than before. Armor balancing. So I talk about it a lot. Yeah, that's a big part. Reduce armor weight in and out of stash, and more resistances baked into the armor itself to give you more choices on how you protect yourself. They forgot to mention they redid entire underlying calculations for all this stuff. Vanity lights. New photo mode feature. Take photos during the night or in dark interiors without worrying about how to make your character shine. Season 24, Rebranding and the Cryptids from Beyond the Cosmos. Rebranding sets off on another adventure, this time facing off against extraterrestrial creatures. We hope you are ready for another Rebranding adventure. I generally like the Rebranding team. I just wish there would be more rewards in this season. Update is relatively small, as there is no significant new content. The arrival of Bigfoot. Bigfoot has emerged from hiding in the Appalachian wasteland, armed with a giant tree branch to slap you around and blood-sucking ticks to throw. Bigfoot has a chance to appear at the end of a select group of public events. Which ones? You will have to figure that out, because taking this creature down gives you a chance at earning a 4-star legendary item with the new 4-star mod Thrill Seeker on it. I did actually post entire lists in my video, the deep dive into the changes if you're interested. It was data mined. To celebrate its arrival, we are holding a little event for this larger-than-life creature. We are calling it Bigfoot's Bash. During the first full week of the update, Bigfoot and the public events that spawn it will have extremely high chance of appearing, after which it will return to being its normal camera-shy self. We hope you are ready to take on this legendary cryptid. Do note, if it takes you too long to bring this creature down, it will return to the wild, so act fast when you see it appear. And yes, Bigfoot is very tinky. It's a real bullet sponge, like Bigfoot probably supposed to be. Uninvited guests. Bigfoot isn't the only surprise that could be waiting for you at the end of public event. The Wendigo Colossus or a Deathclaw Matriarch can appear at the end of events like guided meditation and distinguished guests. They are not the only two that can crush your party though. Make sure to participate in all the public events to see who else will show up to give you more rewards. There is a trailer that was posted on Bethesda account earlier on about the new season. Rebranding is back for another adventure, and this time he's hunting extraterrestrial creatures. Earn new seasonal rewards such as Pip-Boy display, Bigfoot stain display, and an alien weather machine. Now events have been renamed to activities, so the small events. The big events remain events, and small events are now activities. We have rebranded the variety of smaller event quests as activities to better represent what we felt they truly are. A quick activity to complete with a couple of friends or on your own. Public events will retain their name. Activities will now be shown within the featured activity list when opening the map alongside daily ops and public events, making them much easier to find and join. Public events have been given their own unique icon. We have adjusted the min-max levels of enemies that spawn during all activities and public events to provide more of a challenge for higher level players, while still staying balanced for lower. Additionally, the difficulty labels have been removed. So enemies, they don't say it here, but can be up to level 125. So that's significantly higher than it used to be because 100 was max, now it's 125. For those of you asking, no, does not apply to Super Mutants at Westec, they still max out at level 100. How to start activity. Activities will now operate on a time-based rotation, which means several activities such as collision course can no longer be started by approaching the area it takes place in. There are some exceptions to this rule, which we detail below. How does it work? Approximately every 10 minutes, and depending on available activities being completed, players can expect a new activity to become available, chosen randomly. Activities will not repeat until they have all been completed. Enclave activities, which previously required players to progress through the main quest to participate in, are now available to all players through this new system: Real Blast, Bots on Parade, Drop Connection. And those are very important as they are dropping Enclave-specific weapon mods, like Enclave Plasma mods. Were not members, as you can expect to receive additional rewards for your commitment. So yeah, if you want those rare rewards, you need to complete Enclave questline, otherwise they will not drop. That's what they are trying to say by that. Powering up will still need to be activated by approaching any of the 3 broken down power plants which become available on a fresh server or 8 hours after the last repair was completed. Riding shotgun will also be excluded from the time-based rotation pool. You can repeat this activity every 20 minutes upon speaking to Vinny. Hordes will appear as an activity. They won't interfere with the new activity rotation noted above. Rewards pool update, so updated rewards for everything. Activities and public events have received updated base reward pool, and a unique reward for an activity or public event remains in place. So yeah, they still dropped, it's just more of them. We have also removed items we felt bloated the play experience and just added weight to your inventory, such as ammo, scrap, chem drops from the event rewards. These are things we feel should be found while playing and killing enemies rather than just dump into your backpack without you choosing to get them. So what you will get? Activities will now reward 75 caps, a chance at a legendary item, 1 regional schematic or mod. This is important, that's a big improvement. It will be easier to get all those rare plans. 3 to 5 legendary script, and experience based on player level. Public events will now reward 150 caps, so twice, 2 legendary items, 3 to 5 legendary modules, 3 treasure nodes, 1 to 3 improved bait, if fishing main quest is complete, 1 you mine it map, if you have none, so if you already have one you will not get it, and experience based on player level. A variety of player titles have been added for public events, and a variety of camp titles have been added for activities. Generally very good changes to events and small events, now activities. It will help a lot. Much more sense in doing them now. World loot updates. We are taking this opportunity to make a pass at updating various world loot containers too. The content of log boxes found throughout the world have had their loot improved. Chance to receive legendary item depending on log difficulty. mined maps can now be found. Contextual season items. Depending on active challenges, players will now have a chance to find a related item, such as a soap, to help progress their daily, weekly goals, which is really cool. That's a nice addition. You just loot containers and you will find what you need to find for your dailies and weeklies. mined maps will now have improved loot depending on the level of the map used to activate the Lucky Strike quest. Still, I'm not sure if that will be worth doing unless they activate special improved rewards that they can do. I was talking about it in previous video. Balancing pass on activities and public events. And now there is a lot of small changes that was applied to various events. I could read them all, but from my experience, it's not really important to know it. You will appear at those events and you will see mostly those are very minor improvements to improve the flow of the events, sometimes shorten them a little bit, make them more balanced. So a lot of tiny improvements. If you want to read them all through, I will, as usually, drop a link in a pinned comment so we can go directly to those patch notes and read all those tiny changes to all activities and events. As you can see here, that's a lot. I'm scrolling through that, so that's a lot of tiny changes that was applied to those events. It will not make or break anything, it just makes them slightly better, that's overall. Now Pip-Boy performance. Substantial Pip-Boy improvements are coming along with this update too. Smoother navigation, improved responsiveness, and more quality of life improvements should make navigation your Pip-Boy a better experience. Performance upgrade, smoother navigation, menus load up to 52% faster and inventory actions are 70% quicker. Memory efficiency up to 88% less memory usage, reducing lag and improving overall responsiveness. The lag they are talking about you could already experience when you open your quick wheel and there is a lot of items in your Pip-Boy, there is lag before you can do anything. So that's the lag they are talking about. That was addressed by improving memory, but 88%. I don't know how they calculate that, but that's what it says. UI and quality of life improvements, clearer tabs and more tabs now. Recipe book, don't miss this one. Your plans will be all. Plans and recipe will be found in recipe book. It's worth to check it from time to time because you can find out it's very heavy book and it doesn't tell you about it. So check it from time to time if there is not too many already known plans in there. Scrollable text boxes, dedicated leads tab for quest-related activities organization. Season visibility improvements, season flag notification. A new blue exclamation mark flag appears to alert players about new season content they can unlock. This appears when the player enters the seasons menu. It will reappear when new items are available. Score widget enhancements. Updates to the score widget in the top corner of the screen now includes ticket balance, score progression, and a button to directly access the season menu. Includes reward image previews on unclaimed rewards. Direct navigation UI updates, dedicated button, mappings V on keyboard, menu button on PlayStation and Xbox for quick access to seasons, updated flyouts for significant events, added ticket balance display to the paper map for better awareness, and reward visibility improvements, rotating reward previews integrated into the widget. Flyouts now highlight new page unlocks and major milestones without overwhelming players. Vanity lights for photo mode. That basically means you can add light to your character when you do a photo mode in dark space. There will be more later on added in the shop, most likely. Now we have 5 light templates in your photo mode. Armor update, this is a big one. A lot is changing. Let's read the bullet points. Provide a wider range of valuable armor choices based on your build and what you are fighting. Add more flexibility with how you decide to modify your armor to cover your needs. Allow for more synergistic balance adjustment and better difficulty tuning for all present and future content. We want storing items in your stash to be the ideal place to keep all your spare armor. So we've lowered the weight of armor across the board and extra 50% in stash. You can find all the changes to armor and related mods listed below. So we'll dive in. General changes. We have changed the equation used for calculating damage reduction to put more emphasis on armor rating. Damage you take is now reduced first by your armor and then by special damage reducing effects. A side effect of this change is that your armors will no longer break as quickly when you have special damage reducing effects. Side effect is that your armor will no longer break as quickly when you have special damage reducing effects. I don't know what they were trying to say by that. The armor is breaking much quicker with those changes. I'm not sure what they were trying to say. We'll see if that will be fixed or not. I was already showcasing that from the public test server. Especially self-inflicted armor damage went through the roof. You can one-shot all your armor pieces yourself. So yeah, the armor is taking a lot of damage. We'll see if any of that will be addressed at all, or how your experience will go. All special damage reducing effects from different sources, such as minus 15% damage from robots, now multiply together rather than add. So what that means, it's less in total. So you multiply it, so instead of getting full set 5 pieces 75% reduction, like if you would add it, you are more around neighborhood of 50% total, because each piece count on the remaining damage, like that's how you multiply it. It basically means weaker. Armors now have more elemental resistance options. Braced armor mods have been redesigned to give plus 5% block damage reduction. All under armor now share a new mod slot that controls which special stat bonus is gained. The existing lining mods no longer grant any special stat bonuses and instead grant more resistances. So that I was talking about, but yeah, that's what's changing. Impactful change. Going back to this, like damage reductions, one thing I don't see mentioned, they change order as well. So the damage reduction applies after the damage rating calculation. So first, your total armor, so 500 armor, will be calculated how much this reduces the damage, and then percentages. It used to be other way around, which again is a nerf. But in the same time, they did reduce damage on a lot of enemies, so you shouldn't feel like much squishier than you were before. Under armor mods, so standard. Every under armor will provide this standard. If you want more, you will need to acquire different style. Vault style, that's what I'm buying straight away to farm experience. Gold vendor at foundation, and they tell you here which mod acquired where. Only 2 you can buy, like Vault 79 Secret Service and previous one. All other stuff you need to acquire by playing the game. So we'll get it later from those events, bosses, and so on. I was discussing those under armors a lot. The important part, Vault style, which is very good, available straight away with 500 gold bullion from Foundation. Default legendary mods and unique effects. So there are new unique armor pieces. They old, but old were just 1 stars. They redid it, and you need to acquire new ones, so they are dropping now from events. So we want to do some events to get some of those unique armor pieces. Trey Warden is a good one with unique effects of throwing weapon damage, 50%. That's nice. A lot of them is insignificant, and you will not really use them, like Stand Fast, Silver Lining, Last Bastion. You will not use them, but some of them are cool, like the Last Stand, Brotherhood Recon armor, that has an effect of 50% of your evade chance as damage reduction. So instead of evading, you can translate that into damage reduction with 50% of efficiency, which is very cool. This one is cool. The new Bulwark, and so on. By the unique effects, you can tell which one may be useful and which one not. This one just provides a bit more protection, so I don't think it's worth it, as they do have fixed legendary effects and you cannot add 4-star to them. So that's a drawback. Therefore, the unique effects must be very strong to justify usage of any of that. And this one, Rage, Raid Armor, that we can get from Air Nuke Boss. This is another cool one. You deal 1% more damage when hit and take 1% more damage up to 100%. Stacks expire over time when not taking damage. So you are getting hit, you are taking more and more damage, but you are doing more and more damage. So this is very interesting. I need to test that on the live game when I will acquire one. So we'll be nuking air at some point for sure to get the Rage Armor. It comes with auto-steam painkiller burning. So the painkiller definitely will help with tanking a little bit, as painkiller is a healing effect, and auto-steam is a healing effect. So you're taking more damage, you are healing more damage, and you are doing more damage. Very interesting way, in my opinion. Power armor. Significantly reduce the weight of all power armor and the base weight of the power armor chassis. A deployed power armor chassis no longer removes its weight as if you dropped it. Dev note, this change was made to help indicate the item is still in your inventory and you have not dropped it. Not very important change, but just so you know. Power armor chassis weight is now derived from its contents. So it doesn't weight by itself, fix 10 pounds like it used to be. You add up power armor pieces. Luckily, the weight of power armor pieces was reduced greatly, so overall similar weight for power armor. Armor that is broken no longer has reduced weight. I don't know why that was important. Maybe so we cannot store broken armor pieces. I would like if they would change so armor that's broken do not unequip itself, as that's what is happening with power armor, which is a bit annoying. Radiation, again, radiation calculation was changed. I was talking about it a lot, but overall, radiation from the environment was reduced a lot. If you are running like legendary radiation resistance with radiation healing or anything similar to that, you will be doing just fine. If you used to be running in hazmat suit, it will not protect enough. You will need to figure out a better way. It will protect you a lot, but you will take significantly higher damage. Hazmat suit doesn't have a use case anymore. Power armor protect decent enough, like similar as it was with reduced environmental radiation. You take a little bit more, and power armor hazmat suit protects the same. That's why hazmat suit will feel much worse, as it was basically blocking all radiation. It doesn't anymore. Therefore, no use case for hazmat suits. Power armor does the same job, just better. Legendary mods rework, so new effect for mutants, 5% damage reduction as you acquire more mutations, but you need 16 of them, so that's a lot. They do not say that, because it's probably scary. Bolstering, up to 10% damage reduction when HP is lower. It maxes out at 5% health, but on public test server, it's almost maxes out at 20%, so it's fine. I hope they kept it like this, as I already crafted full set of bolstering. I need my 9% under 20% health. Hopefully it's like that. Vanguards was changed, up to 10% damage reduction based on max health, so they boosted that. We'll check in game. The last time I checked on public test server, it was 6%. 10% was not mentioned anywhere. Let's hope that's the case. And scaling we'll need to figure out. At some point it was very weak at public test server. Overeaters changed and now gives you 40 health per piece. Aristocrats, very good one. 10% damage reflection. It doesn't stop any damage, it deals damage to those attackers. That's what damage reflection means. And you need 39,500 caps for full effect. Elementalist now gives you 25 to all resistances. Warming, Fireproof Hazmat and Poisoners boosted to 50. Defenders, 40% chance to automatically block attacks for weapons and 5% chance to automatically block attacks for armor. I don't think anyone gonna be speccing to blocking. This new blocking system is very overcomplicated, very legendary and perk intensive to block a little bit of melee damage. Cavalry's weapon mod renamed to Blocker. Damage reduction from this effect explicitly applies to block damage now. Cavalry armor mod boosted to 10% less damage taken while sprinting, so way more powerful now. Reposting. This effect is now specifically reflects block damage. It also works with the new auto block effect. Weightless 3-star mod has been reworked and renamed to Heavyweight. New effect grants up to 10% reduced damage at 150% carry weight. And they made a mistake here. It's 1-star mod. That must be a typo. Weightless 1-star mod was renamed to Heavyweight, which is still 1-star mod and grants up to 10% reduced damage at 150% carry weight. So easy way to get very tanky, just get over encumbered with this mod. Armor mod adjustments, and there is durability and so on. Very not important to know those values. You will have a feel how it actually pans out when you start using it. So those values, not important, as they change entire systems. So value changes tell us absolutely nothing. Not important, let's be honest. Legendary perks no longer require perk coins to unequip. That's a big one. That's a big help. Perk coin limit has been increased to accommodate very high level players. Fix an issue where the Bloodluster effect didn't work with certain weapons, bleed mods. Hopefully now it will be useful. We'll test it. Portable power has new effect. Increases movement speed while in power armor by 10% per rank, so max out 30% movement speed. And yes, it may be good now because movement speed cap was increased from 120 to 150%, so you can actually use that. Sturdy frame reduces the amount of stagger taken per rank, not useful from my testing. Blocka now reduces damage from blocked attacks, therefore dead. In other words, you will not use it. Very weak and dead. Does nothing if you don't block. Fireproof, renamed to Hardy and Death Note. We have added many new sources of fire resistance and felt this perk was better suited to a single effect. In translation, this perk was already struggling with fire damage reduction, so it was renamed to Hardy and it only blocks explosive damage now, which was always working fine on this perk, therefore bug fixed. Creatures, enemies. Some stronger enemies' outgoing damage has been reduced, like raid bosses. Some enemies' poison, fire, and cryo damage has been increased a bit to account for players having much easier access to those resistances. Weapon changes. All cursed weapons can be modified in legendary crafting now. It was already possible to modify them before, but some legendary mod boxes were missing. You can do all modifications now. Cursed mods now increase damage by 35% from 15 and attack speed by 15 down from 20. So it's more like damage increasing than attack speed, which is good for some weapon, not so good for other. Overall, awesome for broadside, I will take that. Added new legendary effect to some unique weapons. This does not affect existing items, so new weapons, basically. Civil Unrest, and those you cannot modify. They drop as they drop, and they have a unique bonus. They drop from events. Perfect Storm, Quad Hitman's Nimble, and they forgot to say, yes, that's fire damage. Not listed for some reason, that was buffed a little bit. Black Diamond, Anti-Armor, Reposting Strength, and bonus cryo damage, similar to 4-star effect. Remove the overhit mechanic from the Gauss minigun and slightly lower its damage. This is a temporary removal of the overhit mechanic as we plan to reevaluate it in a later update. As there was problem with it. It doesn't want to work correctly. Fix some inconsistencies with the stabilizer 4-star legendary mode. It now improves weapon cone of fire, recoil, and stability by 40%. So that's a buff. Armor. Hellcat now has the headlamp modification option. Hellcat and Union and Vulcan power armor suits now correctly produce the jingle footfall sounds once Northern Lights power armor skin has been applied. Oh, that's very, very specific fix. Makeshift Ronin helmet now counts as a gas mask. Targeting hat works on living targets and no longer highlights robots. Did they fix it? I think they fixed it. It wasn't working for a while now, so it looks like they fixed that. Camps and workshops fix an issue where bushes wouldn't be bulldozed when building over top of them. Hazmat, Mr. Fuzzy Plushie, and Pioneer Scout Square, Mr. Fuzzy Plushie preview face forward in the camp build menu. Okay, there's minor camp and workshop fixes. If you want to read it, feel free. Oh wait, that's... almost missed that. Dynamite Box now has a build limit of 25 in camps and workshops. Did they watch my video doing hundreds of thousands of damage with dynamite stacks? 25 is still a lot. Will still be a lot of damage. Just not unlimited damage with dynamite. They noticed. Public events and activities, a bunch of fixes in here. Gameplay. Let's see the gameplay fixes. Adjusted how challenge completion event is triggered to be more consistent. Buildings in the Rust Kingdom no longer flicker when observing from nearby cliff. Fix an issue that allowed the chem duration effect from the Biocom Mesh Armor mod to remain active after the armor with the modification was unequipped. That was not necessary to be fixed. They weekly challenge for items that the player vendor now accepts when multiple items are bought at once. Okay, that's awesome. That's helpful. You don't need to buy one ammo at a time to complete the challenge. Explosions will now affect the condition of limbs. Yes, I noticed. Fix an issue where Santa Masochist was only displaying 25% increased damage rather than reflecting 50% at rank 2 and 75% at rank 3. Note, this was a display issue. The actual damage dealt was working correctly at all ranks. And they right, that's correct. I tested that myself too. Fix an issue where Gamma Green Tea did not produce extra ingredients when harvesting Kaleidopore flowers. What are those needed for? Oh, I know what. Okay, I got it. Fix an issue where monsters could play knockdown animation again when already knocked down. Fix an issue where turbo fertilizer grenades have no effect on precare plants. Precare plants fixed. Grenade throwing arc now displays correctly while holding a two-handed projectile weapon in first person. Two-handed projectile weapon? Oh, maybe they mean like heavy gun. Items with only bounty mods can now be scrapped. The armor Deathclaw will no longer turn on the Beastmaster during gearing up when no other targets are nearby. Fix an issue causing damage to limbs to be higher than design. Increase the movement speed cap from 120 to 150%. Okay, I don't know what exactly they did about the limbs. They still break. The default amount of damage reduction when blocking attacks has been reduced from 100 to 60%. So you see, not even blocking is worth it. As I said, blocking is dead. Greatly decrease the condition damage weapon takes from blocking. The ultra-genetic Mole Miner Stalker now deals a significant amount of physical damage and inflicts a deadly bleed instead of dealing a killing blow. So you can survive with quick Stimpack. Players have 90% damage reduction against their own attacks, but again, math changed, so you barely can survive one hit from a launcher, if you can survive it. Quite often you cannot survive one hit from missile launcher, for example. Radex diluted, Medex resistances boosted. No practical impact. Let's be honest, no practical impact in-game. Legendary mods. Added the missing names for the legendary mods introduced in Burning Springs. Fixed some inconsistencies with the stabilizers. They already listed that once. Wearing a full set of armor with the reflex mod now applies the correct bonus. They already did that last time in hotfix. The Harpoon Gun's Barb mod now works with its base bleed effect rather than removing it. This issue was also noticed with the following weapons that also have a base bleed and a mod that adds bleed, so this change applies to them too. Ski Sword, Revolutionary Sword, Chinese Officer Sword, Machete, Shish Kebab, and Handhunter Safe. Perks address an issue where the Bloodluster effect didn't work with certain weapons, bleed mods. Adjust the description of Combat Perk. All Night Long now appropriately doubles the duration of Nuka-Cola Dark. Oh, that's cool. Hack and Slash now applies bleeding damage over time, applicable melee weapons. Ironclad now correctly applies armor bonuses. So Hack and Slash should be more useful now if it will carry on dot effects. A lot of miscellaneous changes. I don't know if we should read through them. There is a bunch of very small ones. Quest fixes and weapons. Oh, Black Powder Rifle's large bayonet can now be learned by scrapping the black powder weapon. Okay, that's nice. Finally, we'll be able to unlock it. Fancy single action revolver and fancy pump action shotgun skins now display correctly. Ferals now should only be applied to melee weapons. Fix an issue which caused some weapon animation to not work correctly in third person while crouching. Light machine gun prime receiver can no longer be sold to vendors. Short handmade rifles now have the correct option for default appearance. Sniper's mode should no longer be disabled for any hostile creature close to you. The Fatman Smurf will now correctly create a main detonation and 5 child detonations. Okay, I will test. Fix an issue which caused some weapons to break again after repair at workbench. The Death Tambo now correctly counts as a bleed weapon when completing bladed challenges. Rearrange armors at workbench for light, sturdy, and heavy categories. UI changes, some crafting changes and UI and so on, and menus. So we'll not read through all of that. The VATS accuracy bonus is now correctly displayed when the associated stock or side mods are added to the following weapons. So that's good. I don't think that affects actual accuracy, just stat page. Some visual fixes. Known issues for French voiceover, so that's not me. Pip-Boy known issues. Switching view has long load time for the item preview to reappear. Speech to text box overlaps with the Pip-Boy. D-pad does not scroll in effects and perk section. Long words in the Pip-Boy radio are cut off. The Vault-Boy character does not display armor and apparel on Pip-Boy. Vertical scroll functionality breaks when attempting to drop locked stacked items in item submenu. Users are prompted to set a number of items to drop when attempting to drop locked stacked items. Feral meta icon is not present under status and effects in the Pip-Boy stat menu. Nothing critical, and that will be fixed later. So this is everything about the patch. Hopefully we'll enjoy it, and let's hope it will be live soon. Thank you a lot for watching, and see you on the live stream when we will be grinding the raid for season progression. See you there.